Yes.
Okay, so today we are going to take up the topic of HANA Cockpit. Okay, so first let me, before starting the explanation, let me start the VMs. Okay, and by the time the VM is starting, let me create the VM for HANA Cockpit. And once the installation start, then we'll take up the theoretical part. So, okay, so we'll be creating the VM for HANA Cockpit. The configuration and the other details of the VM is given in the first sheet. HANA Cockpit E4S V3 4 CPU, 32 GB memory, root volume of 30 GB, and data volume of 20, log and shared volume of log volume of 10 and shared volume of 50. This is the configuration. And here is the for the if you're creating from the portal, you can create it for with these steps only. The step for the point number three, same as you created your HANA VM. Here is the command for creating the cockpit VM. It has started creating the to start creating in some time. Let us now log into a server and start all the HANA VMs, HANA databases. Okay, so for the cluster system, no need for starting the database. It will start on its own. CRM on minus R. Just monitor it. What is happening? So we can see over here that this is now it is starting the database on PRD2. The database is getting started on PRD2 SU minus H4 variant. Okay. So it is now starting up. You can check what is the replication state of the DNS. Okay, so it is in the sync mode. This is in the sync mode. The secondary side, the Delhi side is in the sync mode, and the first one will be in the primary. So now this is showing the slaves HDB PRD01. It is showing a slave. But once this server is fully started PRD02, it will change the state of this PRD01 to master. The the virtual IP is also running. So let me check for the S4 variant. Okay, the database has fully started. The replication state. Okay, so the Mumbai site is primary. The Mumbai site is primary. And about the virtual IP. So you can see over here the virtual IP is started on the primary system, the Mumbai side, the Mumbai node, node one. The virtual IP started on this one. Okay, so now it has started. HTTP PID2 has started completely, and it has taken as a slave state. It has taken the role of slave, and the master is PID01. If you want, you can check for this. So attribute. So overall, everything is in green, 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 green. Here also, the primary, first node has been promoted to primary, second node has been demoted, and the sync is in OK state. So sync is in continue. Sync is in proper. Okay, so this has started. The production system has also started. No need to do anything. You just have to power on the system, and everything will be started by the cluster. This VM, let me check the status of the VM creation. Okay, so I think here is this VM cockpit. This is a VM. So this VM has started. It's running now. It's up, and the IP for this VM is 102.1.7. So it has started. The IP is running. Let me open the sheet for the HANA cockpit. This is the sheet for HANA cockpit. Let me just rather than just configure auto shutdown on this. It's configured now. Auto shutdown. Now no need for this sheet. I can close this sheet. Okay, this is the sheet for the HANA cockpit. These are the details for the system. The size of the system. This is the CPU, memory. I think we have gone through this before. Okay, and these are the boxes. The yellow boxes means in case if you're using this sheet for some other landscape or some other environment, then you need to change all this yellow one. Red one, you have to compulsory change it. Even if you are using for your like practice from your server access. Okay, the server access which you're getting from the class. If you're doing this, you only need to change the IP address. Just change the bar. The rest of the things are optional. If you want to change it, you can change it. If you don't change it, it's okay. But IP address you have to compulsorily change it because this subnet will not remain the same. The subnet will not remain the same. Same here, if you see our current IP address is 10.2.1.7. Okay, and the one in this sheet is 10.0.1.7. So let me just update this. Okay, now I have adapted this sheet. The rest all the things I don't need to change. Rest all the things will remain same. Now let us go and start with the OS configuration. Let me add the server 10.2.1.7. This will be H4C HANA for cockpit. Let me quickly configure the OS setup. Administrator, etc host. Now let me update my Deshan host etc file. It is 456 and 11. Okay, so here it is. So the entry has been added in my Deshan host etc file, and this system is pinging. Okay, let's minimize this. We have gone to now to GB of it. And now let's start with the file system configuration, creating of 9 points. Okay, so all has been mounted. HANA data, HANA log, and HANA shell. Yes, now let's copy the binaries. Now let's copy the binary for cockpit, the package for cockpit. Okay, the package has been downloaded and let's yes, okay, let me extract it. Okay, and this is the command for installation. So you'll find it is a little different than the one which we have been using for installing the data HANA database. Okay, here we are going to explicitly mention the data part and the log part. These two options were not required in the earlier cases. Okay, in the HANA databases, you don't need to mention this data path and log part because by default it goes into slash HANA data and SID. But here, if you don't mention this part, it will create the database in a slash HANA shared location, which is not as per our expectations. We have to mention this, and you can see that we have not mentioned the SID and the system ID because here in for a HANA cockpit, it has a default SID H4C and a default instance number 96. So we are not going to change the standard, and we are going to go with the default ones. That is, and also if you see over here, we have defined the password only one time master password. We have not defined the password three times like we used to do it before for installing the HANA database. HANA database, you have to mention three passwords. Can anyone tell me what are the three users for which the password we have to define during the HANA database installation? Yes, anyone?
So as far as I remember, because I followed that, so probably I may be wrong. One is for tenant database. One is for system
Tenant
DB.
database. Password for tenant database. No, the password for which users? I said that here we are only mentioning the password one time, the master password. In normal HANA, while installing HANA databases, we have to mention three password, three times the password for three different users. So which are the three different users? Okay, so one is your system user, one is the system user of the databases. So normally by default it creates two databases, the system database and the tenant database. So it has system users in each of the database, system user for tenant database, system user for system DB. So when you set the password for system user, it says the password for both of the databases system user. So one is the system user, second is the SID ADM. Okay, the SID ADM, which is your OS user. A system is your database level user. SID ADM is your OS user, and the third user is SAP ADM. Okay, the system administrator for your SAP host agent. So these are the three users for which you need to mention the password while installing HANA database. But here we are only mentioning it only one time as a master password. It will take this before it will take this master password for all the users that it is going to create. Okay, so now I'm starting with the installation. It will take a long time. It takes around 45 minutes for the installation. So I'm starting at 7:45. Let's see how much time. I think 45 or more than 45 something. So it has started the installation because see, this is not just a database installation. Earlier cases, it used to install the database in 10 minutes. Okay, the normal installation time of HANA database is 10 minutes, but here it takes around 40-45 minutes. The reason is that along with the database, it is also installing the application for the HANA cockpit. And where is that application? Actually, it is inside the database. As I have told you last time, I think while explaining the architecture of our HANA database. Okay, this was the architecture for HANA database, and I showed you about that. This layer over here. Okay, if you see the app server layer over here, this is the app server layer. So in this area for this platform, SAP HANA Extended Application Service Access, XSA, for this layer, it installs all the application. Oh, sorry, the HANA cockpit is created on this platform, XSA, XSA platform within your HANA database. Okay, there is not any third party or so, not any other front end. It is inbuilt inside the platform is inbuilt inside HANA database. You just have to develop your code for that in that platform. So now this is a database installation has started. Now let me go to the what is actually HANA cockpit. HANA Cockpit is nothing but it's a standalone tool. It's a tool for managing and administering your HANA databases. It's a tool for managing and administering your HANA databases. So this is HANA Cockpit. Just a small explanation like what is it. Now this is your HANA. This is your HANA Cockpit system. This is my HANA Cockpit host, or this is HANA Cockpit system. Within it, these are the different components of your HANA Cockpit. One is your HANA SAP HANA Cockpit. This is the one component SAP HANA Cockpit. Then you have your Cockpit Manager, which manages your cockpit. So this is your one is your SAP HANA Cockpit. Second is your Cockpit Manager. Then third is the platform on which the application is developed. SAP XSA, Access Extended Services Advanced. Okay, this is the container where all your codings are interpreted and executed. And below that, you have the backend platform, which is your database, HANA database. So these are the different components of your SAP HANA cockpit, and this is your managed system. Okay, this is your SAP the HANA databases that you are going to monitor from your SAP HANA cockpit, monitor and administer. So this is your SAP HANA databases, and there are two components of SAP HANA database. One is the database itself, and the second one is the SAP host agent. The host agent which is installed on the operating system level, okay, which manages or interacts between the database and the operating system. So this is two examples. There are two examples. Now HANA Cockpit communicates with your host or managed system through two communication methods. There are two communication methods over here, two interfaces. One is through your SQL. One is through running your SQL queries, and the second is from the OS. The second interface is through HTTP and XML. It is executed through the SID ADM user. This is executed through the SID ID user, and obviously the SQL client will be executed by the system user. Okay, is that clear?
So Muzaffar, this HANA SAP HANA Cockpit Manager is another application just like SAP HANA Cockpit, or how is it?
Yes, we will see the practical. I'll show you the practical over here when the installation is finished. I will show you how to configure the SAP HANA Cockpit and what is an SAP HANA Cockpit Manager.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So when this HANA Cockpit is installed, the installation itself, it installs database as well as this Access Advanced platform plus
Yes,
Cockpit
yes.
and Cockpit Manager.
Yes, you don't have to do any third-party installation. What we are doing now, what installation we are doing now, it will install all these components in your HANA Cockpit system.
Okay.
All these
Okay.
components will be available.
Muzaffar,
Yes.
I want to know the difference between HANA Studio and HANA Copy.
What can you come again? Difference between?
The difference, perhaps instead of use HANA Studio, we can use only HANA Copy.
Can you come again? Can you clarify your question? What will be asked? What is the difference between HANA Cockpit and what?
And HANA Studio.
HANA Studio and HANA Cockpit. Okay. So now see, the one of the main difference is the platform. Okay, is the application platform. HANA Studio is developed under Eclipse. It's a programming tool, ECLIPSE Eclipse. So HANA Studio is developed or it is programmed in Eclipse. Okay, whereas HANA Studio, HANA Cockpit is purely from on your HTTP interface. It is not. It is you only access it direct through your browser. So it is platform independent. HANA Cockpit is platform independent. Whereas your HANA Studio, it needs you have to install. You have to first if you have a Windows system, then you have to install HANA Studio for Windows. If you have a Linux system, then you have to install HANA Studio for Linux on it. So one difference is that. Second difference is that you can see just for the feel and just for the diagrammatic layout. Okay. Otherwise, if you compare between both of them, HANA Studio is more advanced. Okay, and it has many more functionalities in addition to what you have in HANA Studio. You get that?
Okay, okay.
Okay, now second, this is just an overview of your HANA Cockpit. So what you can do in HANA Cockpit. So after installation, you have to configure HANA Cockpit by adding different databases in your landscape. For example, in your landscape, you might have different HANA databases. You might have a landscape for your S4 HANA. You will have a S4 HANA landscape where you will have your development quality and production system. Then you might have your BW for HANA landscape where you will have your development and quality and production, or maybe only development and production for your BW for HANA layout. Then you might have any other layout for which you, for example, a CRM for HANA or something like that. So you will have different landscape. So what you can do, you can create different folders or groups. You can create groups in your HANA Cockpit, and within that group. So this is a group over here. You have created a group by the name of Dev System. So in this group, you will add all the development systems of your landscape, different various landscapes. Okay, the development system of your S4 HANA system, development system of your BW for HANA system, development system for some other landscape. So depending on this, you can add all the development systems over here. So this is your SAP HANA development, and this is the SID BWD, resource BWD. And also you can assign different users. You can assign different users for each resource group, so that you can only share those users with the monitoring team. So in case you, for example, you don't want to share your production user, you want to separate your, don't want to share the credentials or any kind of control to your monitoring team for the production system, then you can create a different user for this group, and this will you will not share with the monitoring team. The monitoring team will have only the access to your development and quality system, not for your production system. So like this, you can create different users for different groups over here to manage the resources within the groups. That is it. Now let us see where we are now. So it is still taking time. It is just, I think we have just completed 9 or 10 minutes, so it will take another long time. Okay, anyone else, any queries and doubts? Your voice is not audible.
Hello, Muzaffar.
Yes.
Muzaffar, Robbie here.
Yeah, yes, Robbie.
While installing this HANA Cockpit, we are installing the DP as well. But then
Okay.
we already have two systems running on HANA, as we have two production system. Yeah. So why can't we integrate that? We can integrate that two system in our Cockpit, right? Because Cockpit is a client tool. So
Okay.
is it Cockpit like a package like that comes with the database itself?
Oh, sorry, can you come again? What you said? The cockpit is like a backend which?
This HANA Cockpit, is it like a package that it has to be installed with the HANA database? Because right now we can integrate the two systems like a resource in this Cockpit.
Okay, yes.
So why are we installing with this H4C the DB as well?
Actually, yeah, here is the misconception that we have. See, we have been following the old traditional method of front-end systems and back-end systems. Okay, normal understanding till now before HANA, what we have over in a landscape, a front end application and a back end database. Okay, but as I told you that with the introduction of HANA, what they have done, they have integrated the front end platform. They have integrated the front end platform within the HANA database. So now you don't have it something like whether it's a front end or it's a back end. Your HANA system is itself a back end plus a front end. You can develop your own application also in the HANA database. You don't need any other separate platform for building your application. Let me show you the screen.
Then,
So
No.
individually, if suppose if I go to that H4P system, from there also from HANA Studio I can develop, right?
yes, what you said, what?
Suppose if I'm directly going to my production system H4P, what you have created,
Okay.
from HANA Studio we can create the codes also, right?
You can create
Then
what?
develop the code also, right?
Okay.
So why are we installing here DB in cockpit? I'm asking my questions.
Okay, see, actually, it's a separate solution. It's a
Okay.
separate solution. Because see, within the HANA cockpit, the database is only a smaller part. So don't understand that we are installing the database. So we are not only installing the database, we are actually installing the application. What is that application? HANA cockpit is an application. The HANA cockpit contains all the logic, all the programs, all the codes for managing the HANA database. Okay, it is not when you start with the configuration and we see what are the different functionalities involved. So it's a long list of functionalities which contains in it, and these all functionalities are provided by the HANA Cockpit application, which is developed within the XSA, Extended Services Advanced, the platform which is inbuilt in the HANA database. Did it answer your question, or you still have any doubt?
I got it. Yeah.
Is it clear?
Yeah.
Muzaffar, if we see this diagram, suppose we have created H4P for our production database. Okay.
Okay. S4D. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. If we can install the package which is required for the cockpit installation, so can't we use the same server for the cockpit package to install, and then we can use the platform? We can create a platform on the same system. Why we have to create another?
Just give me 5 minutes.
Even we can use the same database and we can install the app server there, and we can have the full SAP HANA platform on that server. If we have to only upgrade it, correct? Upgrade means we have to only install the app server package on the same system, H4D. Can't we do that?
Sorry. Okay. Now see what I'm saying. Yes, see, it is within the application is developed within the HANA database. It's a one package. You cannot separate it. Okay, you cannot separate it. You have to again. Then it's not a very easy task. If you're going to integrate this HANA cockpit into an existing landscape, existing database. Okay, then you cannot install it in your production, or you can get this database which is already in use. You cannot develop. You cannot integrate into your development system or production system, because what will happen if there is any kind of inconsistency and the database stops working, or if starts giving any kind of issues and all. So see, normally you won't disturb your existing running setup.
Okay. So that means it's a third system where we are installing in real scenario. Yes. In the real scenario also, we have to install a separate database and app server, that is SAP HANA platform, and then we will integrate our databases, existing databases, so that the application can work.
See, as per the requirement, it has to be a separate instance. Okay. So you can either install it in one of your existing hosts. For example, you have a hardware, you have HANA appliances for 512 GB of memory. And in that 512 GB of memory system, you have installed 128 GB for your development system, and for suppose say for 256 GB or 384 GB for your quality system, and still you are having some space, some memory, you still have some room for some, like suppose you have more than 30, 40 or 32 GB of free memory in your existing hardware. So what you can do, you can install this as an additional instance in the same hardware. What I have told you about that multi-SID installation. So you will also have your development system in the same host. You will install the quality system, plus you will also install the cockpit also in the same host. So when you open your slash HANA slash data slash HANA slash data, you will find three directives over there. One for your development, one for your quality, and the third one for your cockpit. Did you get it?
Yes, yes, that is what I wanted to understand.
So here,
Mhm.
here I'm not complicating things by installing it on the same system and all, but I'm just putting it, taking a separate system and installing on that. In case in your landscape, if you don't have a separate system available for this HANA cockpit, you can integrate into one of your non-critical systems. For example, if you have a database, or sorry, if you have a development system, okay, and you have a VM of say like 256 GB for your development system. So what you can do, so I think you can just limit the memory usage of your development system to say like 200 GB. Okay, and for the 50 GB of the unused space, you can install your HANA cockpit in that same system, in the same VM or the same host. Okay. Yes, any else query? Robbie, was your question answered or still having done it out?
No, Muzaffar, all clear. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you see, as you see in this screen over here, see, you can also develop your application in different third-party platforms also. So these are the platform. For example, your client application, you can develop your front-end application in, for example, say VB.NET, ASP.NET, and any other Java programming platform. You can develop your standalone application and connect the backend as the HANA database connected as a backend to that application. Also, you can develop your application in different other platforms also. These are different platforms, MDX platforms, HTTP, any platform, OData, Open Data platform, any of these platforms. And also you have the option to develop your application within your HANA database. Okay, within your HANA database. And actually, if you see over here, this is just a marketing ploy, you can say, just to for showing the customer. See, now they cannot push any customer to use this how to use the application within the HANA database. And so what they have done, they have developed a tool for monitoring the HANA databases. So they are indirectly pushing you to use this software. And indirectly, when you use it, you will understand, you will learn all the features about this application, the embedded application platform of the HANA database. So actually, if you see here, HANA Studio was enough. HANA Studio was enough to do all the management and administration tasks for the HANA database. But they wanted to lure the customer. They wanted to give them a showcase, an example, a working example, and how this application can work with their application developed within the database also. So just they programmed the third-party tool and they just forced it on the customer. Any doubts regarding today's session, or even for like previous session, old session, if you want? Okay, let me address, if you still have time for this, let me address this query from, I think, Sonali. You had asked for about the how to change the password for the database. So let me go for this H4D. So this
Okay.
is my development database over here. Actually, after your query, I have added that command in the sheet itself. So here in the user DB connection user, okay, here in the user sheet, I've added how to reset the system user password of system DB. So here is the command for that, how to reset the user in case if you are okay with restarting the database. If it's not non-critical system, you can, if you have downtime, you can restart it. You can directly reset it over here. So first thing is that you have to stop the application. Sorry, you have to stop the database. So let me start it over here. So here it is, stop your database. So let me check if the database is running. Okay, the database is running. So stop the database.
To change the password also, we have to stop the database.
To change the password of the system user.
Okay.
Okay, and this is not the system user of tenant database. Okay, the system user of your system DB.
Okay.
Okay, so you can only change the password of the system user. Sorry, if in a running system, if you want to change the password, you can only change the password if you have the old password. You get it? Because to change the password, you have to first log in with the system DB user. To change the password, you have to first log in with the system user, and then you can change of its own password. But in case if you don't remember the password, if you don't have the old password, you don't know the password, then the only option is to restart the day, stop the DB, and you run this command: HDB name server minus reset user system. It will start the database, something you can call it as a safe mode or something like that, rescue mode or safe mode, and it will allow you to set the password for the system user. Last time the mistake which we had done was that we had left the HANA Studio open, because HANA Studio it keeps when you change the password in the background, the HANA Studio tries to log in with the old password, and if it exceeds 5 times, if you try to log in with the system user with the wrong password for more than 5 times, the user gets locked. So that was the issue that we were facing last time. So now it is asking for the password. Let me set the password to something like system123. Okay, this is the password, system123. Now I'm going to set the password, enter, again confirm password, enter. So what it says, password accepted, activating your user system. Okay, so it has changed the password. Now let me start my HANA database. The password has been changed. Now I can log in with this command: HDB SQL -I instance number system, the new password, and system DB. Okay, the database has started. Now let me use this command to log into my database. This is the command I copied. Let me check. Okay, can you see I was able to log in with the new password, system123. I was able to log in with the new password, system123. The old password was India123. Now let me just, if you want, you can just set it again. I'll set it again to the old password. Alter user. So it is not allowing you to change the old password because the last password, it is not, it says that you cannot reuse the last passwords from your last 5 passwords. So you cannot reuse the last 5 passwords. So if you want, there is a different command also over here. You can change the number of last. You can change this parameter and set the password. Where is it? User system visit. Links. Okay, user last used password. Okay, just we'll wait for 5 minutes.
Okay. Okay. Yes, please.
Okay, so the installation is still going on. It is already past 45 minutes, so let it remain. So here I was showing you that we had changed the password for the HANA database using this command, the HDB name server minus reset system user. Yeah, using this command, reset user system. So we have changed it. After changing the password, we logged in with the new password system 123. And after that, when we try to change the password to the last password, India 123, it was showing that last n password cannot be reused. So n was actually 5. It is not showing the number over here value, but it is 5. So what I did, this is the parameter that I changed. The parameter was last use password. Okay, this is the parameter, this is the sub version password sorry, this is the main higher password policy. Within her password policy, last use password, so I changed it to 0. I changed the number to 0, then again I gave the same command with the same password, and it accepted the password. After that, I resetted the value to the default or previous value of 5. Now again, if I try to change the password, it will be again give the same error, last and password cannot be reused. So that is it. So we have changed the password. So last time it gave an error because we had opened the HANA Studio and kept it open while we were trying to change the password. And regarding the other query, let me check if we can do it right now till the time it is getting installed. So this is how we can create a tenant DB over here. Let us try to do the practically. So in my development system, I'm going to creating a tenant DB over here. Create a database, create database test test DB. Create database test DB. System user password test 123. Invalid password. Your minimal password length is 8. So it is creating the password. Then creating the database. Okay, so here the installation is also completed at 8:35, almost 50 minutes. Okay, it took around 50 minutes for the installation. I think it will take time. So keep this, we'll keep it running. Now let us go back over here. Okay, now the installation is complete. Now you can do an installation check like we did it before for our other HANA databases. You can run this by running this command for the installation check. Okay, and before that, if you want to check for your installation, you can check for any errors or any issues during the installation in this file. Let me paste it here and just copy this command and check whether there is an issue. Permission denied. Okay, so here you can see there is no error over here, no error in this file. Now let me log in with the ADM and run this test installation check. Okay, so let us check. It says SAP HANA Cockpit System Check, and this is the log file. Let me paste it over here and check if there is any issue in there, if there is any errors in the log file. Okay, so you can see there is no error over here. In the last yoga, you can see this message, no errors detected. So we have done the check also. Okay, this is how you can do the HTTP info, stop, start, same thing what we have done earlier. This is for how to open, how to log into your. Okay, one more thing about this HANA Cockpit user. There are no tenant databases in the cockpit. Okay, there are no tenant databases. If you want to see login into your database. So this is how I logged into my system DB. The password it is not given. Let me see the password. So here I'm logged into the tenant DB. Select star from m underscore data bases. Okay, so if you see over here, there is only one database, system DB, no other database is there. If you check the same in the other system, if you check it over here, select star from m underscore databases, select star from m underscore databases. So you can see how many systems can you see, how many database can you see over here? There are three databases. This is the system DB databases that was created at the time of installation. This is the SID database, or this is the tenant database, which was also created at the time of installation. And this is the third one is the test DB, which we have just created right now. So there are three databases in this test system, whereas in in a HANA cockpit, there is only one database, that is the system DB, no other tenant database. All the records, all the historical data of other, all the monitoring data of other managed data systems or managed databases are stored inside the system DB only. There is no extra tenant database here in the HANA cockpit. Select database name. Select start and select and database name. So the database name is systemdb. Select system ID from m underscore database. So this is H4C. This is your system ID. Okay. This is your system ID. From here. Now, cockpit check, how to see or what all the applications that are running in your cockpit. Okay, before that, if you want to see the version of your cockpit, then access version. This is the version of the application, access version. So this is the version of the application 1.0.136. And these are the details of your application. Okay, these are the, see, you can see the access a cockpit. This is the access a cockpit URL. This is the HANA cockpit URL, and this is the cockpit admin URL. There are different URLs for different functionalities. access version. Then before you can see what our apps are running over there, you have to log in into the system. Access admin login. It will ask for the password. You have to give the master password. Okay, it has now logged in, authenticating. So it is now logged into here. So let's just log in. I think this is the same only. The cockpit admin. I have already logged in with the cockpit admin. So no, just now let me check what are the spaces available in this system. Access login. Okay, so there are two spaces available. What is the space over here? So this is the same concept, something like as a folder concept, okay, or in the table space concept. So what you can do, you have created a space in there, and within that space, you will create your own application data in it. All the application related codes and everything will put within that space. So here there is a space that in every database you'll find a default space as SAP, and here there is a new space or there is an additional space over here called as cockpit, which will contain all the application codes and programming related data of your cockpit application. So this is for the spaces. And what are the apps running in it? So you have to run access apps. So these are all the apps which are running in your HANA cockpit over here. So what is your, so these are the two applications, or these are the two apps that you are interested in. One is the SAP HANA Cockpit Manager, and the second is the SAP HANA Cockpit. It is called as Cockpit Admin Web App. So where you can find, can you see over here, Cockpit Admin Web App. So this is the web, this is the app, and if you want to see the URL for it, this is the last part is the URL for it. This is the URL. So URL is normally same, only the ports are changing from for every app. So this port is 51029. What is over here? Same only 51029. So this is the URL for the Cockpit Manager. This is the username. This is the password. What is this used for? What is the use of Cockpit Manager? Registering databases, creating DB groups, creating users and user groups. So this is the functionality of your Cockpit Manager. Then you have this SAP HANA Cockpit. What is a cockpit? So this is the URL, this is the user, this is the password. What is used? It is used for monitoring and administration of the registered DBs. Whatever DBs you have registered in your cockpit manager, you can monitor and administrate them from here, from this URL. So now let me log into the URL. Okay, the first one is your HANA Cockpit admin, HANA Cockpit Manager. So I'm logging to my URL for HANA Cockpit Manager. So this is your cockpit manager. The username is cockpit underscore admin. And the password, the master password. You are not authorized to use the SAP HANA Cockpit Manager. To use the SAP HANA Cockpit Manager, you need a role collection based on the role template cockpit underscore admin. Do you want to have this role collection automatically created and assigned to you? Yes. The role collection of like a cockpit admin has been created and assigned to you. Please log on again. If you are currently logged on to any other SAP HANA Cockpit session, please also reconnect to those sessions. So this is just a one-time activity. The first time when you log in, it will give you this information and will ask you to create assign that role to you. So once you have assigned it, on the next time it will not ask you. So here, this is our cockpit manager. Okay, which says you have 0 databases registered. Register or import databases for the cockpit to monitor. So this is a cockpit manager. So first, let us register all the databases. So now go to the config sheet. This is the config sheet. Log into the SAP HANA Cockpit Manager. This is the cockpit, the same file which you just create group. Now here you can create a group. So where you can create a group, registered databases. Click on registered databases. Okay, registered database, database groups. You need to go back. Okay, here is the database group. Sorry, this is the database groups. Here you can create a group. So I'm creating a group by the name as group name will be Dev. The group name will be Dev description development. So group name Dev description development. Step 2, register database after the group is no cockpit users. Which cockpit do you want? Which user do you want to assign to this group? Which user do you want to assign to the group? I will use cockpit underscore admin. If you want, you can go back. You can go back to the main screen. Okay, I'll show you later. Show you later. Choose the user cockpit underscore admin. Select create group. Okay, so I've created a group by the name as Dev. If you want, you can go back. You can go into this cockpit users. So here there's already an existing cockpit underscore admin. If you want to use different users for different groups, you can create different users over here and then assign that users to the different groups. So I've created a group by the name as Dev. Now let me create another group by the name is PRD. Create group PRD description production. Step 2, and here also I'll just using the same common user cockpit underscore admin. Create group. So I've created 2 groups over here. Now next part will be to register the databases. Now next part will be to register the databases. So 2 groups have been created. Now you can go back. You can click on register databases. Okay. Now click on here bottom register database. So here in the register database, use system generated name database system ID. Okay. Host name HDBDev01. Host name HDBDev01. Identifier instance number 01. So this is wrong actually. The instance number for my development system will be 3 and for the production will be 01. Okay, so identifier instance number, the instance number for Dev is 03. Okay, container, multiple container system database, description, development. Okay, this is the development for this will be development system DB. Development system DB. Development system DB, and this will be product. This is development system DB. This one will be production system DB. And same here, this will be so system DB. This will be tenant DB. Development tenant DB, and this will be production tenant DB. Okay, so this is system DB step 2. Okay, here what we have to validate the certificate. Just uncheck this box. Validate the certificate. Uncheck this. Validate the certificate. Otherwise, you will get certificate errors after the database is registered. Okay, then comes the technical user. Click on next step 3. Then the technical user. What you have to do in technical user? Database create new technical user. So we'll be creating new technical user. Click on create new technical user. Database administrator username. Database administrator username system. And the password, the user password, and by what name do you want to create a technical username. So what it is going to do, it will log in with this credential. It will log in with the credential of the system user inside this database. Which database we are adding? Development system DB. It will log into that user. It will create this user. It will create this technical user, cockpit underscore tech user. It will create the technical user. It will assign that a required role and authorization to this user, cockpit tech user, and the password for it. Give the password. If you want to click on this grant asset value, otherwise just click on create. Now it will create this user in the system DB of the development system. Okay, so now it has given this is the technical user, the password. Now we can go on step 4. Okay, database group. Under which group do you want to add this database? Register this database. So I'll register it under dev group. Select step 5. So this is the dev group, and this is contact details and all. If you want to maintain, you can maintain. Otherwise, just click on review and finalize it. Just click on register. Okay, so I'll click on register. After clicking the registering, after clicking on register button, it will register this database. Now you can see one database has been registered. Under the registered databases, you can see one database has been registered. Which database is this? This is the system DB of development system. This is the system DB of development system. Now I'm going to register another database. Register. This time I'm going to register the tenant database of system DB. Register database, use system generated host. This is the host, the same host, instance number 03, multiple containers, tenant database. Now it will be tenant database. Multiple containers, tenant database. This is the SID of the tenant database. Okay, description. The description will be development tenant DB. Okay, step 2, validate the certificate. This will be validate. Just uncheck this. Validate the certificate. Step 3. Okay, here create again. Create a new technical user. Okay, give this system password and details for the cockpit tech user. Create. Okay. Technical user cockpit tech user created successfully. Actually, so why have you given this? No idea about it. Create technical user database. System. So, technical cockpit window 1 to 3. Step 4. Database group. So I'll again add it into the development group. Select. Step 5. Review and register. Now I have successfully registered 2 databases, development system, system DB, and tenant database. Now again, I will click on register database, and I now will register the production databases. LDPRD01, use system generated 0, system number 01, production, basically production 01. Production 1, this will be production 2. So XGB01 system DB, production 1 system DB, step 2. Okay. Just uncheck this box. Uncheck this box. Validate. Step 3. Okay, user, technical user. Create technical user. For registering the system, first time, every time you have to create this technical user first time. Create technical user created successfully. Step 4. Group. Now I will add it into the PRD group. Now this I will add into the PRD group. Step 5. Review and register another database register. So I have registered the tenant, system DB. Now I'm going to register the tenant DB. HADB PID 01 instance number 01. Okay. The SID H4P tenant database H4P production 1 tenant DB. Instance number 01 multiple content tenant DB first. Step 2. Validate the certificate. Next. Okay, here also again have to create technical user. Cockpit tech user. Password. Create. Created successfully. Okay. Step 4. Group. It will create in the production group. Okay. Select one. Step 5. Review. Register another database. Okay. So I have registered the databases for the production 1 system. Now I have to register it for the second system. This is also the query, the same query, the action query. This is LGD query 01, this will be LGD query 02. This is 01. This will also be the same 01. This is production 2. Instead of production 1, it will be production 2 system unit. Now let me edit. The host will be the second host, PRD202, instance number 01, production to system DB, connection to system DB. Step 2, validate the certificate. Step 3, create technical user. Create encountered. Okay, so this is the error. You will know you will not be able to create the technical user because the database is not open, not in read write mode. You get it? This is the PRD2. So this database is not in read write mode. If you want to add this database, you have to switch the cluster to the secondary node. You have to make the secondary node primary, and then when it comes into read write mode, then only you'll be able to add this system database. Okay, so let us just cancel this. Okay, so coming over here, we have added these 4 databases, 2 from the development and 2 from the production priority. So we have added all the databases. Now next part is for the monitoring, and also for that you have to log into your second system, which is your HANA cockpit. This is the HANA cockpit URL. Here also, okay, so now it has already logged in because we have already used that password. So now if you see over here, you can see there is a, this is the dev container. This is the container for dev. So here it is showing two databases, and this is for the production, and here it is showing two databases. If you see the green box over here, it means all databases running. There is no alert, there is no issue with the database. Everything is working properly. Monitor landscape. So now if you click on the dev tile, if you click on the tile for the dev database, here you can see both the databases. Can you see? This is the first one is your system DB, and the second one is your tenant database. Running with issues. Here it is showing it is running with issues. If you click on this detail alerts, if I click on the alerts, enter database user logon credentials for system. So it is asking for the database user logon. Huh? So you have to give the system details, system. So here we'll see the alert. Can you see the alert? As a disk usage of 100%, total disk size 99.9, use this 994. So the disk size, so there is the issue with the disk size. Okay, so I think we have created the database. We created a new database, and the size has gone down. Let me check df minus h. Okay, so it has gone 100%. This is the alert which was it's showing you in your HANA cockpit. Okay, can you see over? This is the alert over here. And CVS, CVS, VGS, IVS. We only have 2.96 GB of free space. I don't think it will have do any help. Okay. So this is the alert over. Can you see? So as soon as you logged into the system, it gave you an alert. It gave you an alert that the disk utilization has gone to 100%. Now, if you go back again to the main screen, you can check the alert for your second database also. Okay, here it is now it is showing you two alerts. Okay, it is now let me check the alert. So again, it is asking for the detail system. Okay, here also it is showing you the alert for 100% disk utilization. HGB0 runs out of CPU resources. CPU consumption user mode 55%. Okay, so it has hit a maximum of 55% of CPU consumption. But I think it must have got under control now. So if you want, you can check what is the current CPU utilization. Top. So yes, see, again it is going at like 52 at some odd percent, 50%. But still, it is a 65%. I think 65% is the limit or something like this for 100 KB. So if it gone beyond it, we will get an alert for that. So here this is visualization. HANA timer uses fallback to system timer. This is also for a medium alert. So here from here you can monitor all the alerts for your database. So this is the memory consumption. You can see the memory consumption, 13 GB. CPU utilization. So this is the CPU utilization. It has gone to this 90 something. This utilization 99%. Okay, and if you want, you can also go for this advanced. I think where is it? This one. You have to select manage databases. This is again, it has taken you to this HANA Cockpit Manager. Okay, so if I go in this, go into this system H4D.
Muzaffar, can we address these alerts from this portal? I mean, from the cockpit.
No, you can only do the things which you can control via SQL query or via your SID ADN user. For example, you can stop the tenant database from the cockpit. You can start the tenant database from the cockpit. You can create a tenant database from the cockpit. You can delete a tenant database. You can create a replication from the tenant database. Okay, but this alert, the 100% disk alert. See, you cannot delete the files from your cockpit.
Mhm.
Okay, you have to
Okay.
log into the OS and then you have to identify which disk has hit, which disk has become full. What is the reason for that? And if you can release any space from there, then it is good. Otherwise, you have to. So here, I think because since you have created a new database, it is because of that. So if what I can do is here, we can address this query by deleting the database. Su minus h4d adm. Okay, login, drop database test db. Can't drop database which is not stopped. Okay. Alter system stop database. First, you have to stop the database. Alter system stop database test db. You can monitor from here whether it is stopped or not. Su minus h4p watch. Okay, so here see yes, this is stopping. This is for the test db. So once it gets stopped, then we can drop the database, and I think we can reclaim the space from the OS level or the OS level.
So when we drop a database or probably a table or something, the space that it has consumed, can we reclaim it?
See, now this is what is it is a, this question answer is not straightforward. Now, can you just repeat your question? I understood what your question is, but just for your own sake, can you repeat your question?
Yeah.
Well,
So when we drop a tenant database or
mhm.
probably drop a table,
Yes,
okay.
yes. So now see, in your question, you have two probability, or you have two different questions. One is dropping of a database and dropping of a table.
Mhm.
Okay, see, when you drop a table, the space is freed within the database. That is within the data volume.
Mhm.
You
Hmm.
get my point. It
Okay.
is freed
Mhm.
within the data volume, so it will not get freed up at your data at your mount point at your file system level.
Mhm.
When you delete a table, it will not get freed up at your file system level. But when you delete a database, the data volume will get deleted. Na? And
Okay.
if it get deleted, then you can then the file the space at the file system will be reclaimed. Now this is not getting stopped, so we have to do some intervention. So here I am kill. kill Okay, so it is stopped now. So here it is. The database has stopped. Now again I can click on drop database terminal. So now it has started dropping the database. Okay, one by one it will drop all the schemas within the database, and then it will drop the database. Now one thing that I need to confirm is that after dropping the database, does it delete the data volume or not? If it doesn't delete the data volume, then we'll have to manually go and delete the data volume. So you can check it from here, df minus h. So can you see the space is getting reclaimed now? Yeah, can you see it has gone to 73% from 100%. The space has been reclaimed. So now if I check into ls/hana data, okay, there is no okay, no, sorry, there is no hana data h4d within here mnt within here. See, there is only three sizes over here. There is no fourth one. The fourth one would have been for your that one test db. This is this is for your tenant database, SID tenant database. Okay, H4D, and this is for your system DB 3.7. This is for a system DB, and this is for I think doc store or something, some service. This is the file storage. So the additional ones have been deleted, and the space has been reclaimed at the OS level. So you can see over here, it has received 2.8 GB of free space. Okay. And now if you run the above command, select star from databases, m underscore database, select star from m underscore databases, So now you can see only two database. The third one has been dropped. Now, if you go and check in your alerts, I think that alert will, I think it will go away. The disk alert. Okay, so you can see that now it has become green. The system DB it has become green. Now, let me go back. Okay, it has become now what again it is giving now. I think there were two alerts earlier. So one of the alert has gone. This is the alert for your disk usage. It is still showing at 100%. I think maybe it will take some time to detect that there is space in the system now. This one, this I think there should be a way over here to okay, check now. So there's option over here, check now. Click on it. After check now, I think this alert should go away. The alert thesis has finished running. No alerts were issued. Can you see the alert now has gone back? It has cleared. The alert has cleared. Now if I go back now, okay, so you can see that the alert has gone now. The disk usage alert has gone because we have created space on the disk level, and that alert has now gone green. It has gone away. And this is the HANA timer users fall back to system timer. Now what it is showing, they notified about the usage of the system timer fallback so slower than native HANA timer. Proposed solution, use HANA on a system configuration with time step counter invariant. So you have to check this SAP note, what is this error about, and then you can rectify or correct this issue. That is it. If you want, you can again check now. The alert is finished running. One or more alerts were issued. So still after checking again, the alert has not gone away. It is still there. So this is the way how you can check for your alerts and all. Okay. Now go back. This is it. This one has gone green. So this user has gone green. Let me again refresh the screen. This also should come to 72 or 73%. Okay, can you see this one also has gone down to 72%. So this now all is in the green now. Everything is in the green now. So there is only a spike of the CPU usage at this point, but after that it has recovered itself. So after that there is no more CPU spike. Okay, these are the different types and version, custom, choose authentication, enter credential, database management. If you want to do some management, click on this database management. Okay, now from here you can select the database for the system DB. You can select the database and you can click on this over here. Audit policies, backup configuration, backup schedules, configure tenant replication, database licenses. You can install the licenses from here. The same thing, whatever activities you can do from HANA Studio, the same thing you can do it from here also. Here you can even request new license. If you click on this request new license, it will open the portal for the SAP support portal. It will take you to the screen where you can apply for your new licenses. And after you get the licenses, you can install it over here. You can click on this database licenses. I think somewhere here it has option. Okay, here can you see the dotted? So here you can update system database license, delete all system DB licenses. These are the options over here. Okay, close this. Now for your tenant database, delete all system DB licenses, request new licenses, go back. If I select the tenant database, what features I have? Audit policies, backup configuration, backup schedules, configure tenant application, database licenses. Also, if you see over here, there is an additional option over here, which is not there in the system database. That is for stopping. I can stop the tenant database from here, from my HANA cockpit. I can stop it from here. So if you see over here in this screen, okay, so these are the two services for tenant database, the index server and the access engine. These are the two services for tenant database. So if I stop it from here, if I stop the database, how do you want to stop tenant database? After running a statements, finish executing immediately after open transactions, aborted and all that. Okay, stop tenant. Now it is stopping the tenant database. So can you see over here? Stopping and stopping, it was stopping. So now it will stop your tenant. Now the tenant database has been stopped, and we have stopped it from your HANA cockpit. Again, if you want to start it, you can just click on the start button. The status here is now showing a stop. The tenant database is stopped. Now you can just click on start. You can click on start over here. It will start. It has started initializing or starting the tenant database. Okay, it's a very vast and options from here for all this databases. Okay, you can click now for the scheduling your backups. I told you last time that you can schedule your backup from HANA to HANA cockpit. If you remember in this during a backup and recovery session, I told you about this, how you can schedule your backups. So these are you can say from the OS level, you can backup scripts scheduled in cron app server from the DBA cockpit or DB13 from your SAP application HANA cockpit. Okay, from HANA cockpit, you can schedule backup. SAP provided utility for managing HANA DBs. So how we can manage, how we can schedule the databases for your uh, schedule backups for you. So you have to go click over here, go into backup schedules. Go in backup schedules. See here, you can see the calendar over here. See the scheduled jobs for system DB and tenant backups are not enabled. Here again, this is a one-time activity. You have to configure this scheduled jobs. You have to the scheduled jobs for system DB and tenant on so you have to enable it. Click over here. It will open this screen. If you scroll down somewhere over here, data backup settings. During here, you will find the backup schedules. Okay. Enable retention. This is a retention policy. Enable scheduler for tenant database, enable scheduler for system DB. These are the two schedulers which has not been enabled now. So you have to enable the scheduler before you can schedule backups from here. So you click on edit. Okay, in the edit you have to click for this tenant database, click on yes, and here also click on yes. So now this has been enabled, and now you can click on save. If you want to change the user, I think you might this is no option. Just click on save. So I have enabled the scheduler. I have enabled the scheduler. Now I can again go back to backup configuration. Okay, so now you are not getting that error message over here. So this is your calendar. If you want to see the monthly calendar, you can click on 1 month. Now this is showing you the monthly calendar. Each vertical line is a day. This is Friday 1, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. This is for the month of April. If you want to change the month, you can click over here. You can change the month from here. If you want to go back 1 month, you can click over like this. So here we are in for the month of April. If you want to go again go for the weekly one, then you can click on this. So again here one vertical line is 1 week. Okay, so this is the 1 week and this is 1 day. Now if you want to create a schedule, you can just click on your plus button. Create a schedule. Okay, click on create a schedule. Schedule a series of backup, schedule a single backup. So you can even trigger a schedule, you can even create a schedule, and you can even trigger a single backup. So I'll create a schedule. Step 2, click on which backup you want to backup. So I will create my system DB. I want to backup my system DB. Next, schedule name. So what will be the schedule name? The schedule name will be sys or you can just the schedule name will be sys underscore full backup. Sys underscore full backup. This is the name. So system DB, or let me make it as system DB full backup. Next, schedule a series of backups, system DB, schedule a name system, backup settings, complete backup, differential backup, incremental backup. For system DB, I will take a complete backup. Destination file, backup prefix, date and time, backup destination. Where do you want the backup to go into? USR, SAP, SID, HGB, backup, and data. So this is the location where the backups will go. This is the backup. Comment, schedule backups. Next, step 5, what it will be, weekly, monthly, daily also. See system DB, so it is not that critical. You don't need to take a daily backup of system DB. Weekly backup will do. I will just schedule a weekly backup. Time zone, what time zone you want to take the backup in? So I will be selecting the Asia slash Calcutta. So this is the time zone. This is my time zone, Asia Calcutta. Okay, create backups. At what time do I want to start the backup? So I will start taking the backups at 12 o'clock, 12 midnight. This will be at 12 midnight. Okay, this will be at 12 midnight. This will be at 12 midnight. Okay. So this will be at 12 midnight, create backup, UTC, create backups. On which day? On which day of the week do you want to take this backup? So let me, okay, we can put it on Sundays. Okay, I'll take a backup on Sundays. Activate schedule. And from which date do you want to activate the schedule? From today, 10th of April. Review. Review the policy. Okay, this is a schedule, a series of backup, system DB full, complete data, date and time prefix. This is the location, weekly, on Sunday, the time zone and everything. And now I can click on save schedule. When I save the schedule, you can see it has created this schedule. This is the schedule for the backup. Okay, this is the schedule for the backup. System DB full backup, complete data backup. Here it is. And this is the next runtime. Okay, now I can create a backup for my tenant DB. Click create a series of backup. Next, for my tenant database, step 3. Then name of the, what is the backup? It will be TENANT. Tenant. It will be tenant DB underscore backup with the name of the tenant will be, I think that a good one is H4D. H4D underscore. This will be my full backup. H4D full backup. Step 4. Okay. Then complete backup. This is okay. Step 5. It will be a weekly backup. Step 6. Time zone. Asia Calcutta. Asia Calcutta. Time zone. This create backup. I selected the time for the backup. Let me go back. Recurrence pattern. Backup settings. So time where I have to select. Okay, here I have to select. Sorry. So at what time do you want? I want to schedule the backup 12 a.m. Okay, 12 a.m. on Saturday. So instead of 12 a.m. is my backup time for my system DB. Okay, so it will be okay. That will be same time. So this is the time on which day? Again on Sunday. I will take the backup on Sunday. So on Sunday at 12 o'clock there will be 2 backups at the same time: system DB and tenant DB. Review. This is the detail. Just click on save schedule. So now I can see a schedule here also for my tenant database. Okay, this is for my SID database full backup. Here, more details. Edit schedule. Instead of, let me just make it a brief. Instead of maybe I just make it so. Okay, so here is the backup schedule. So this is for the 6 DB. This is for the SID full backup. Now again create a schedule. Create a schedule, create a series of schedules. Step 2 for my tenant database. Step 3. Now the name of this schedule will be H4D. SID underscore, you can make it differential if you want, or you can make it incremental, INCR. So H4D SID underscore incremental. SF4. Okay. Now this will be an incremental backup. This will be an incremental backup. Okay, series of backup, SID underscore incremental backup. The rest is same. Step 5, it will happen daily. So here it is actually there is no option for daily. So go with the weekly option. Step 5, here you have to select the time zone. Calcutta, select the time zone Calcutta. The time, what time do you want to take the backup? So daily it will take at 12 a.m. It will run at 12 a.m. It Okay, it will run at 12 a.m. But on which day? Sunday. It's already we are scheduling a backup on Sunday for full backup. So we'll only schedule this backup for the rest of the week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Not for Sunday, because Sunday there will again be a full backup. Is it clear? So we'll only create this backup. Click on review. Okay, this is the date, and now click on save schedule. So now you can see backups over here. So this for blue one, this is the full backup. This is the full backup. And if you see this one, this is the incremental backup. Backup type incremental data backup. And this one is a full backup. So every week we will have a full backup on Sunday at 12 midnight, and daily, or you can say rest of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we will have incremental backup at again 12 o'clock midnight.
Muzaffar, here we are giving, we cannot schedule the backup to any network location.
For any network location.
Yes.
Okay, so now here, for example, for this backup, click on more details, edit schedule. Okay, if you see the edit schedule over here, so here you can see the destination type is giving as file.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay.
The reason here it is giving is file because no other location, no other backup medium is configured on this database. Okay, so you have to go on the database, you have to go on the operating system, you have to configure the backend for it. Okay, there's a different option for it called as backend, backup interrupter. You have to configure this backend on the OS level. You have to give the path, and you have to define the backup storage location for it. It can be anything. It can be a location to your remote NFS volume. It can be a location to your tape drive. It can also be a location to your cloud storage. Okay, once you configure this, then you get an option over here to change the location, change the backup location.
No, if we mount, suppose at OS level, if we mount any network location and we make an entry in a FedStap,
change
it
the
will
path over here.
recognize.
Change the path over here, backup destination.
Yes, so that will also work, correct?
You can either give it through. What you can do, you can mount it as on a local
Yes,
mount point,
right.
and you can give the path of this over here. So it will take a backup on that remote directory or that network share.
Network
Anything.
Mhm.
That is it.
Okay. One more thing. If
Yes.
suppose we are taking full backup on Sunday, okay, and next backup incremental we have scheduled next day 12 a.m. Okay.
Okay.
Before 12 a.m., suppose at 11 a.m., if something happened with the database,
Okay.
we will not be able to recover it to its time. At
Now,
11
which date you're talking about? For example, this is Sunday. So there is a full backup here on Sunday night at
Yeah.
yes at this time. Okay, for example,
Okay, 6:30. Yeah.
18 no 6:30 it's UTC, 6:30 UTC.
We have taken at 12 a.m. We
12
have taken
o'clock midnight.
Yeah, midnight
Yes.
we have taken, and
On 18th
just
of Monday. So what is your question now?
my question is, suppose at on 10th of April, just at 11 p.m.
Okay.
We have some issue with the database, and we have only full backup of 6:30, or you can say 12 a.m. So we'll not be able to.
See, at 11 o'clock there is no backup, na?
Yes, there is no
The
backup.
backup will be taken after 1 hour, na? So it means it is not still, it's not in your hand. The backup is still not triggered. So you only have this last backup. You only have the backup in this 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have this 7 backups, 1 full backup and 6 incremental backup.
Oh, okay. No, what
now, for example, if you're yes.
My question is, suppose we have taken the first backup on the first backup, full backup date is on 11th of April, Monday. Okay.
Yes.
Suppose next day 12 the backup happened, but for the second backup, second incremental backup, before that the system failed.
Okay.
Database failed. So in any case, we will not be able to recover it to the current state, correct? We
Why?
can-
Why not? Why not?
No, because we have the incremental backup of 12th, but
No,
we
you
don't
have
have.
the incremental. You have the incremental, which is your delta backup for 12th, na. But you still
Yes.
have your logs also, na, in your log drive.
Okay, that log, we are not taking backup of log drive here, correct?
No, the log drive, it is already taking, it is already accumulating. So you can also schedule the backup. See, okay, see, by default, your log backups is already scheduled. When you install a HANA database, by default, a log backup is already scheduled for every 15 minutes.
Yes,
So
yes,
every
correct,
15
correct.
minutes, it is taking a log backup, and that did at this location. It is taking a backup at this location. This USR SAP SID HDB03 backup log. Instead of data, it will be log. So this is the default location. Here it is by default, it is taking a log backup every 15 minutes. It is dumping the log in this location.
No, but here, suppose at some point of time the drive is starting getting full. So we are not
Okay.
taking a log backup separately anywhere.
Okay.
Means out of the disk. We are not taking the log backup out of the disk. But here we are taking, suppose at any of the network location. Suppose this is a you can say officially we are taking the backup outside the database location. Okay. But the log backup exists inside the database folders. Okay. So in that case, if a system crashes or if there is something happen, we'll be only having the full backup plus the incremental backup. That's it.
Yes.
Will not. So why there is no recommendation to take the log backup also outside the this thing? Means outside the database folders.
I see. So see, they have only provided. They have given you the provision for taking a backup. Now, as a database administrator, it is your responsibility to safeguard your system. See, everything will not be taught to you, na. Okay, this is so
no, here also we should have the provision to take the log
see,
backup.
your every 15 minutes your backup is dumped in this location in the log directory. Now it is the job of that backup administrator to pick up the logs from this location.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, for example, if you are scheduling a third-party backup software like Veritas Net Backup, Commvault, Veeam, and any other backup solution networker, so from that backup, it is the job of that backup to collect the logs from this location. Then safeguard the logs. That is the responsibility of the system administrator or the database administrator or the backup administrator, like whoever it is defined in your organization.
Okay. So that has to be done separately from the backup tool, not from here. We cannot do it from here. Okay.
So here it is. So if you want to pause your schedule, you can pause the schedule till the time you don't resume it. It will be paused only. So in case if you are doing any activity on the system and you don't and you want to pause the regular schedule from here, you can just pause the schedule. You can click on the pause schedule and you can say that schedule has been paused. If you want to again activate the schedule, you can click on activate schedule. If you want to delete the schedule, you can delete it from here. Okay. So what we have seen from here till now, you can have seen that you can monitor your database. You can monitor your database from HANA Cockpit. One is that utility. Second is you can install the licenses. Third is that you can create the backup schedules from here. Okay, and also you can monitor. You can manage the database from here. Now let me go on this screen. Okay, in this screen, if you click on the tenant database. So now you can see this monitoring screen over here. You can see a lot of options which you can monitor or from which you can track your database, health of your database from here. The services which are running with issues. Okay, 2 medium alerts, then memory usage, CPU usage, disk usage. You can click on each screen and it will show the details for it. For example, here it is showing you for the memory usage. It is showing you something about the memory. Okay, this is for the memory usage for CPU. Just click on the CPU usage. You click on the CPU usage, it will give you another screen with a deeper details about the CPU utilization. You can see the trend, that trend by which your CPU is being utilized. Okay, below you can see the CPU used by services. If you click over here, I think you might get some details. CPU used by all processes in the blue. Okay, the blue is showing the CPU by used all processes. The green ones, this is showing you about the CPU utilization by services. Okay, and then this is the dark blue one, OS kernel system usage. So I think the light blue one is the most which is being used. So this is CPU used by all processes. Minimum 1 minute, maximum, sorry, minimum 1 and maximum 94. So it has gone to the maximum, it has hit 94%. Okay, average is 35. So average, I think it's okay. 35% is okay. The average should not go above 65%. Last 2% year and scale. These are the details. So you can monitor your CPU usage from here. Similarly, you can monitor the memory usage from here. Just click over here on the memory usage tile, and you'll get the details about the memory usages. See, these are the memory usages. Okay, then services. If you want to see the services, click on the services index server. It is showing you one running with issue. Go to the trace file. If you want to see what is the issue, you can go to the trace file. So there's a separate application app for checking the trace file, and it is called a database explorer. It will show you all the trace files of the database, and you can check from there what is the issue with this index server. So here is the index server. Okay, can you see over here? No, this is in red, but it's, I don't think it is anything issue. The reloading of columns, show tables finished. I think you might get some any issues over here in a different coloring highlight. It will be highlighted in some other colors. But I don't see anything of.
Even you can search the error. I think there is a search button at the right side.
There's many options over. You can search for the
Yeah.
errors over here. You can
There.
search database functions, index, and table, and many things over here. So they have made it as a very powerful tool. The HANA Cockpit is a very powerful tool to monitor your HANA database. You don't need any third-party utility for monitoring and maintaining your database, HANA database. You can even configure replication from here. From one click, you can configure the replication of your tenant database. Here is it. Now let me again go back to this. Okay, let me go back. You can see this usage. You can see SQL statements. You can see what are the SQL statements which are running. You can do an analysis of all the SQL statements which are running in your HANA interview. How much time it is taking, which are the longest running SQL statements. So right now, since this is just a test database, you won't find much information or much logs over here. But in active statements, so these are the active statements are currently running. So this screen will show you the active statements. Okay, SQL plan cache 1379. These are the SQL plan cache. So this it has cached all these SQL queries. Expensive statements. So here in this screen, you will see the expensive statements. The statements which are consuming the most resources. Those are called as expensive statements. Okay, coming back, you can also see any other option: monitor performance, monitor table usage, open block transactions, memory profiling, most critical devices, threats, admission control. So these are the various things where you can monitor your database. You can also open a SQL console from here. You can also open a SQL console from here. And you can run your SQL queries over here. Okay, so here is it. You can run over here. Select star from m underscore database. So select star from underscore database, and this is the execute button run. So here you can see the details over here. H4D. It is only showing H4D. Actually, it should show the system DB also, but it is not showing the system database. Select name from m underscore. See, it is showing you a red mark over here. Okay, it is saying that it is an error, unresolved column name. Select
Database name.
So like database underscore name. See, it is giving you, it is helping you also in identifying whether that query is correct or not. Select database underscore name from m underscore database, not database. Now if you execute it, so it is H4D. So this is your SQL console. You can also open an SQL console from here. CP is this. You can start and stop your database also from here. You can start and stop your tenant database. Also, you can start and stop your database also. Now, for example, if you go into the system DB, but before you can start and stop your database system DB, you have to provide your SID, ADM user and password, because system DB can only be stopped from the SID, ADM. See, a system cannot stop the system DB from SQL command. You can stop the tenant database from SQL command, alter system stop database and the tenant DB name. But you cannot stop the system database from the SQL query. So that is the why if you want to stop the system database, you have to provide the SID, ADM username, because that command will be executed at the OS level. See, can you see over here stop database? So here is the option to stop your database. So here is my screen and this is my H4D database. So now let me check it from here. After all running statements, page execution immediately after open transaction about it. So stop database. Error while she show details. It will show you have not entered SAP control credentials for this database. Choose connect as. Okay, now here. Okay, go back from here on this screen, main screen. Then go back. Okay, from here, if you see over here, SAP control credentials. It is asking you the SAP control credentials for the system DB. So click over here, enter credentials. Here you have to enter the credentials H4DADM. H4DADM and the password. And okay. I'm not sure, but this is the normal problem. It doesn't accept the SAP control credentials. I face this issues many times. I don't know what is the error, what is the issue with this. So this is my H4DADM. H4DADM. Okay, and the password INDIA123. It is error validating SAP control credentials. I'm not sure why is this happening. I faced it before also. Choose authentication to system DB. Log on with a different database user. So this is for the database user. Let me delete the credentials. Okay. Okay, now let me try to enter the credential for SID again. H4DADM. No. I have to check this. Why is it not validating the credential for SID ADM? SAP control credentials. The SAP control logon credentials for HDB Dev 01. The same that we have been using. SID ADM India 123. Let me check from my OS side. SU minus H4P H4DADM, again SU minus H4DADM, control R, INDIA 123. It is working. This is the same credential, but from that HANA cockpit, I don't know why it doesn't work. So until unless you give the details about your SID ADM user, you will not be able to stop the database from HANA cockpit. SQL console. Here you can open the SQL console for the tenant database, database management, enter database user logon credential. This is for the database user logon credential. System. Restricted features, title license configure time data schedule, backup configuration. So this is the same where we enabled the backup scheduler. This is the backup configuration. Retention policy, retention policies. Margins I use consolidate log backup. Yes, backup at least 15 minutes. This is the default backup interval 15 minutes. And this is the location where all the backups are going. Directory instance backup log. And the backup destination type is file. So click on edit. Okay, from here, create log backups. Yes, from here you can disable the automatic log backup.
From here, we can give the location also for log backup.
Yes, you can give the default location from here. So every time while creating the schedule, you don't have to edit every time. You can give the default location over here.
No, here also we can give the network location just like we can
Here,
give.
yes, here in this location,
So
you can give the
that is
network
what I
location.
was asking. Even the log backup also we can take schedule here. Is it?
Yes, you can give the log and you can also give the network location for your database backup. Restricted features. SAP HANA accelerator for AC operation. There is one for your features. This is your version. If you click over here, you will see the details of your database version. So you see, this is the SID, instance number, active, daemon active, start, security, SAP HANA version history, CPU, memory, network. And this is the SAP HANA version. This is the current version. Patch level revision. The version detail. This is a group based only in one group. Expensive statements. So right there are no expensive statements for any right now. Disk, CPU, memory alerts and all. SQL group by database, other period, manage databases. Okay, I think from restore production. Okay, this is for the all the databases, not as for the groups. Let me check for the production database H4PADN and other validating SAP control credentials. Let me try one thing. Okay, so here it is. Let me change the password for SID ADM H4P ADM. Sorry, H4D ADM. Because the default we have INDIA 123 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, password HDFD ADM. Okay, let me give it a password 123. Okay, now let me try this password 123. Password updated successfully. So this is for H4DADM. Maybe I think it is not accepting it because of the some limitations of the password. It has to be within this number of characters or something. H4DADM RPASW123 error validating SAP control credentials. Actually, I checked for this error before also, but I was not able to get it. Why is it giving errors? That is it. Any queries, any doubts? Yes. So no doubt, can we conclude today's session?
Yeah.
Okay, then I will stop here and I will close the session. If you have any doubts and queries, just put it in the group. We'll take it there. Okay, goodbye, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay, good night.
Thank you, everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.